Ideology. What does it actually mean? In this video, I'm going to explain it with reference to ham and cheese sandwiches and running. Curious? Keep watching, it will all become clear. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yardley and I've been teaching social sciences in UK universities for the last 20 years. In that time, I have developed fast, straightforward, relatable ways to understand theory and do critical analysis, which I've packaged up into my Theory Boss digital course. If you want to check that out, I've put the link in the description. But back to this video, in which we're going to cover 4 things. Firstly, we're going to look at a definition, and then we're going to look at 3 essential components of ideology: a specific worldview, action to roll it out, and power to get that done. Okay, let's get started. We're going straight in with a definition of ideology. Ideology is a set of beliefs, values, and desired outcomes that promote the interests of a particular social group. In other words, there are a group of people who are committed to a particular way of doing things and thinking about things. And this is something that they think everybody else should be doing. They believe that their worldview is superior and they want other people to live by it. So there are some key components to ideology here. Firstly, a worldview, a set of beliefs and values, a way of life. Secondly, action. There is a desire to do something with it, to establish it more broadly, to kind of impose it on other people. Ideology is more than just thinking that a particular approach to life is great. There's an urge to want to get other people living their lives by your set of values too. It goes beyond thinking, this is great because I love it, and it becomes, this is great, I love it, everyone else should love it too. We tend to think about ideology in terms of political belief systems and particular causes in society: environmentalism, socialism, conservatism. But by relating it to everyday things, we can begin to think more critically about it. So let's do that now. Have you ever had a friend who started a new diet or taken up a new exercise regime or began a new hobby, and they have just gone on and on and on about how great it is, how you should try it, and to be perfectly honest, it's become kind of annoying. Say, for example, your friend has gone 100% plant-based with their diet. They're asking for oat milk at the coffee shop. They're not interested in going to McDonald's anymore. And they keep saying just how much better they feel, how much more energy they have, and how you don't know what you're missing by not being plant-based. Every time you take a bite out of your ham and cheese sandwich at lunchtime, you get a lecture about the dark side of meat and dairy. Another example, your boss at work has taken up running. They can't shut up about it. Every conversation you have with them relates back to running. You talk to them about that nice new restaurant in town and they tell you that they run past that on their new 10K route. You tell them you went to the park at the weekend and they say there's a 5K run at that park. You should do it with me next weekend. No, you really should. And they're going to pick you up at 7 a.m. Let's do some critical thinking here. Why do you find this annoying? Why do you want to avoid this person now? Why are you relieved when they leave the room? Because you don't share their views and you are feeling really irritated by the way that they are trying to change you. You just want them to respect the fact that you adore Big Macs and the only time you're going to run is if you absolutely have to. Whilst you can see the benefits of their new hobbies or ways of life, good for them, but that's just not for you and you just wish that they would change the subject. This is a good way of remembering that ideologies promote the interests of a particular social group. A particular social group, not all social groups, not all people. Your friend is a full-on advocate of a plant-based diet, but you aren't. If your friend started to secretly replace your ham and cheese sandwich with one made of ham and cheese substitutes, you wouldn't appreciate that, would you? If your boss decides that your annual bonus next year isn't going to be based on how many sales you made, but how many miles you ran, you're going to be a bit upset about that, right? Because you don't share their values, and the fact that they're trying to impose them on you and coerce you into living your life in a particular way makes you angry. And this brings us back to those components of ideology. The worldview. It's a set of beliefs and values, a way of life. The plant-based diet is the way to eat. Running is the way to stay healthy and fit. The second component, action. There's a desire to do something with it, to establish it more broadly, to kind of impose it on other people. Your friend fools you into eating fake ham and cheese sandwiches. Your boss makes your annual bonus dependent on how many miles you ran. How have these people been able to impose this ideology on us when it's something that we don't agree with? One word: power. We have to look at who has power in these situations. Your friend has the power to trick you into a plant-based diet because you trust them to buy your lunch. Your boss compels you to become a runner because you're dependent on them for your job. The person imposing the ideology on you can do so because they have power over you. When we think about the kind of ideology we come across as social science students, very often it's related to social institutions like governments and large influential organisations. They have the power to implement an ideology because they can use a range of means to shape how people think and behave. Governments and large organisations have the capacity to do this because of the influence they exert over our lives. And they can do this in more subtle, gradual ways than in my examples of the plant-based friend and the running boss. A government might impose a heavy tax on ham and cheese sandwiches to discourage people from buying them. A major social media platform might push out content on a particular running challenge to encourage people to take it up because all their friends online seem to be doing it. In order for an ideology to take root and become something that all people subscribe to, it needs to become normal, common sense, widespread. It needs to get to a stage where it's weird, abnormal, deviant, sometimes even criminal, not to be following that ideology. For that to happen, the people who want to implement the ideology need to have power over the people they want to take it up. So that has been a very quick lesson on ideology. What we've learned is ideology is a set of beliefs, values, and desired outcomes that promote the interests of a particular social group. There is a desire to want to establish it in the lives of people beyond that particular social group. However, in order to do that, the people who subscribe to that ideology need to have power over the people who do not yet subscribe to that ideology. If you're thrown by theory and confused by critical analysis, you should check out my digital course, Theory Boss. I empower smart social science students on taught postgraduate programs who don't feel like they're getting the grades they deserve to master theory and crush critical analysis so they can ace their assignments and write dazzling dissertations. Head to the link in the description to find out more about Theory Boss. I will see you back here very soon with more tips on theory and critical analysis.